Next, we're gonna work on a convex curve. So I'll draw that one as well. We're again gonna take 2 squares of our sample fabric or muslin, and we're going to cut this curve in, but we're gonna sew the opposite section that we did from the concave. So I'm gonna cut this out like this. And then instead of using this part, that's now garbage, we're going to be sewing the concave. And I like to remember that because it caves in. So normally you're gonna be sewing a lot more of this style because that's the armhole. So this is a really important one for being able to sew sleeves. So we're gonna take that over and again use the 1/2 inch seam allowance to sew that seam. We'll start with a few back stitches and then just continue along that curve. Again, you're guiding the fabric to maintain that seam allowance, that equal seam allowance, and curving at the same time. And if you need to lift the presser foot to readjust as you do that, that's fine. Again, keep to small adjustments. Keep working along that curve. Almost there. All right, perfect. Now we're gonna come over and cut our notches. And I like to keep the notches equidistant, and it's more important along the curve than it is on these straighter edges. These straighter edges don't really need to be clipped. It's more about the interior curve, so we may clip a little more frequently there to make that seam more flexible. And then we are just gonna flip this to the outside. And roll the fabric again to pull that seam up to the surface, and pressing down with my fingers before I'm able to reach over to the iron. Yes, that looks great. Perfect. All right, and now because that fabric, let me open it so that you can see. Because that fabric is actually being stretched instead of collapsed like the concave, you won't need to notch, you just need to snip, and the fabric is spreading on its own underneath of there. So perfect. You can see already why that would work for a neckline or an armhole. So that'll be a really important one.